Now,
Okay.
Bueller, anyone?
Was it good?
Right.
Right. Bueller. Here it is.
Is this thing on? Is this thing on?
Is this thing on? Hey, welcome to training now that's actually being recorded. So we're gonna do a little review from a couple of weeks ago. First, we're gonna talk about the seller counteroffer. We talked about that a couple of weeks. So it's Q&A time. I ask you questions, you give me answers. The seller counteroffer creates a what? Sorry, there's no
New
contract.
New contract.
A new offer. Very good. Class dismissed. What does it do to the old offer?
Does it void the old one and make the new one?
Void is probably not the right word, but like that. Yeah, revoke. Revoke, reject. But through the beauty of the counteroffer form, we can use terms of the old offer to make the new offer. So that's how that works. Excellent. A couple other forms I want to use. These are supposed to be modern, black folks. All right. The seller multiple counteroffer. Did we start that last term? No. Good. Okay. It's very complicated. All right. Come on. Don't say it. You're anything, no trust. So the seller multiple counteroffer form. Have you noticed, looking at your forms, there is no buyer multiple counteroffer form? That's just not crickets. It's just, yeah. Don't make multiple offers, you won't have to make multiple counteroffers. There is one kind of in the works. We probably could have used it in short sale days. They keep fattening it around the cage at CAR, so we'll see what happens. But for the time being, we only have a seller multiple counteroffer. That's the only guy that's going to receive multiple offers. You shouldn't be making multiple offers unless, like Chris was just saying, you are Brad Pitt and you can buy all 10 houses and you have 10 deposit checks that are all different. Get that kind of money, make all the offers you want. Because there's a duty that the principals owe to each other in contracts in general and real estate contracts. What might that duty be?
Agency relationship.
Like honesty, not being somebody on.
Fiduciary responsibility.
Honest and fair dealing. Yeah, you don't know what fiduciary is duty to everybody, but there's the principals owe to each other. They have a duty of, it's in the contract, good faith. You have to negotiate in good faith. Okay, I can't really answer you.
What happens if you have multiple properties that are really hot, are going to have a bunch of offers coming in and you don't want to miss out on either of them?
You want to write a bunch of offers?
So like, let's say there's two properties, both come on the market, both are going to have a lot of offers. So your buyer goes, I want to make offers on both and see what I get.
Could you buy them both?
If they could only buy one.
Don't do it. They got to talk to your broker about that. What's the office policy? I don't know. Maybe they figured out a workaround somewhere. If the guy can buy them all, no harm, no foul. But his duty of good faith, when he makes an offer on a property that he's okay if he doesn't get, that's a lack of good faith. That's actionable in court. You get sued for lack of good faith.
Willing and competent buyer. Yeah, you can't buy.
You got to be, yeah, ready, willing, and able buyer. It's like, well, willing, man, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you get that's why they've actually thought about trying to make it where buyers can write multiple offers. But you can't make somebody an offer that you really don't intend to fulfill, because then you breached your duty of good faith.
So our policy is if you make an offer just to tie up the property, it's about property. Right? Just to tie it up.
Yeah, so you got to pick one. All you got to do is tell them, yeah, we found out that that's incredibly problematic. You can get in big trouble, not me, because I'm going to tell you. You pick one. Which one do you want to offer on first? We'll write both offers. We'll just send one. Okay? It's easy to write two offers for one guy, right? You just copy the first one, change the name, protect it, watch the check boxes, especially if it's different. So you go pretty fast in zip form. So it's not like, the chances of them like getting beat out on both of them are slim. But you got to pick the one you really want, because Because, you know, if it's that hot and it's that competitive, you're probably going to pay more than you kind of wanted to and all that stuff when you get the one you really want, so really want it. Don't want it just because you didn't get the other. But for the seller, they could have a hot property, they could get a bunch of offers, and they don't care how many offers they get, and they're going to assume every one of them wants to buy it. And that's part of the discussion you're going to have with your seller, right? It's like, so what do you know about these offers? What's going on here? Well, all the ones with loans, throw them away and catch them. There's actually a form in CAR now in the Zip Forms library, and I forgot the name of it, but it's a multiple offer comparison checklist. So that you can fill it out. It'll actually autofill from Zip Forms. If you write the offer, you can actually put that form in your transaction. It'll auto pop some of the stuff from it. You can send it along. Hey, if you're going to compare my offer to a bunch of other offers in the transaction, here's a comparison sheet. We used to bullet point in the email and say, here's the price, the escrow period, stuff like that. There's a form now, the offer comparison form and the multiple offer comparison form in Zip Forms, and you can fire them up. I mean, check them out. It's
Offer comparison form?
yeah, there's an offer comparison form and a multiple offer comparison form. They're both just checklists. They will auto pop some. And it kind of helps, you know, if you're going over, you got 9 offers going over with your seller, just get that checklist and, you know, check the boxes, make a few notes and stuff, instead of writing all over the offers like I do. I'll print 2 sets. One of them is highlighted all over the place with notes written on it. The other one you can actually sign because I haven't scribbled. Yeah, it's good for the CAR is very proud of that form, and some of the listing agents are getting really good use of it. Free tip for the day. So after you get all those offers, you get 6 offers on the property, you compare them all, you're sitting down deciding what to do. The seller makes all the decisions, right? But how do they make them? Do we help?
Easiest and highest.
Well, I wouldn't go high.
Kind of, I mean, you're talking about price and terms, right? I mean, there are ways that they can decide. So the best description, I think, of what we do when we're making that stuff, because they just start to like drive the train, you know, and someone's like, I don't know what to do. What do I do? Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. We're going to counter this guy and not that guy. You give them feedback and advice, and they make the decision. They tell you who's in, who's out. Now, whatever happens, it's all their fault. And that's where we like to be. Great time. So you're talking to them, giving them all this feedback advice on what to do with the offers. Elizabeth's right. It's basically price and terms. It's probably what you're looking at. And terms are everything except the price. When are they closing? Where are they getting their money from? All that stuff. The terms are, you know, you get one line of price and you get 42 pages of terms. So you want to really kind of pour through that thing. You know? And that's why it's good practice, I think, too, when you think you got a hot property, you kind of level the playing field a little bit. And then so you put it on the market on Monday and go, okay, we're going to review offers like Friday. A lot of people say seller will respond to offers on Friday. The seller doesn't ever have to respond, so don't ever put that in the MLS comments. I can tell you all that. I don't have to respond. When they go, oh, seller will respond to all offers Friday. Really? I bet they don't. I bet they don't. I bet you some of them just get the finger. But they can review them, and they still don't have to do anything. We're not going to accept them. We're not going to do anything. We're going to look at them. If we hate them all, we're going to let them die. We're going to wait for the next one. Sorry, I should have had my throat beforehand. Yeah, that's what's in there. So seller multiple counter offer. So now we're ready to do something about it. So we have, how many do we have? We have 5 offers. We're gonna counter. We don't like any of them enough to take them. So we're, and if there is one, it's like, oh, really like this guy. Maybe just take him. Maybe the other 5 guys just go pack him. I mean, that could happen. That's legit, right? So we're going to counter some offers. As soon as the seller decides, as soon as the seller counters an offer, what happened to that offer? This is what a counter offers do.
Revokes the other.
Revokes and rejects the other offers. So it's like, hey, I made you an offer. Yeah, there's a shoe print on it. But I did send you a counter. Well, there is a chance every time a seller counters, they just bought the property back for the price and terms they got on the offer because they rejected the entire thing. wanted to change it, write a new offer back to the buyer, does the buyer have to do anything with that counter offer? Do they ever even have to care? Not a bit. You can get 5 guys at the table and go, this is awesome, and just blow all 5, just like that. 5 counter offers, and they're going, yeah. How old are you? 21? Right, okay. Saying,
She's probably,
Barely
she's
made-
probably heard that.
you might hear more. You can go to Tom Ferry.
Oh, in this group?
But as you
Yeah.
just clean down when you get it.
Yeah.
Those guys were using F like a comma.
Mhm.
There are some, sorry, live cast people, if you got kids in the room, like, send them out or turn it down.
It's Vegas, there shouldn't be kids anywhere.
No, some
Hell,
who had their baby there.
God, a genius,
Yeah,
probably a real estate agent.
yeah, gotta be an agent,
Gotcha.
new one, yeah.
All right. I keep forgetting I can look over here and actually read the thing. So we're gonna counter all these guys, right? So we fill out the multiple counter offer the same way we fill out offers and counter offers, all that stuff. We have a recital paragraph in the top. Too bad you can't see one. Like shadow puppets.
Yeah.
Pointer.
You need a pointer and arrow, yeah.
Hey, wait a minute.
Dave had one.
Is there, he's got a pointer?
That last 2 weeks ago.
Is that it?
It's on.
Last night at the shop.
Ah, it's on. There you go.
See that?
Cat.
Yeah, they made me put it down last night. Anyway, right there, there's your recital paragraph. Pretty much the same one that's in everything. This is a counter offer to the purchase agreement, or what could it be to if it was to something else? What could it be to?
The first counter.
To a buyer counter, right. This is a counter offer to a buyer counter. And the reason that's on there, I think, is that, see right here, we have a blank, where the number's pre-printed on the seller counter offer number 1, buyer counter offer number 1, which didn't really come out the way I wanted it to, but it settled the argument we had for 2 years about what number is it?
They can count anyway, some of them.
Yeah, right? There we go.
Once you counter.
We used to tell everybody, the way to keep track of who you are, seller counter offers are always odd numbered, buyer counter offers are always even numbered. There is no such thing as buyer counter offer number 1. It's always counter number 2. Not anymore. Now it's buyer counter offer number 1, which is an answer to seller counter offer number 1. The answer to that will be seller counter offer number 2. When you get to the 4th counter, stop. Write a new offer. You've made a miss. So the recital stuff goes up there. The reason that's blank is, thank you, CAR. This thing could show up anywhere in the transaction. And I kind of want to make that point. So you have a seller counter offer 1. You get an offer. You got seller counter offer 1. We didn't have any other offers yet, right? And they're not too sure how they feel about it. So we got buyer counter offer number 1. That day, 4 other offers come in. We got them. So now we got 5, right? We got buyer counter offer number 1, which is a new offer. We got the other 4 offers. Now we got 5 offers. So total license. Now we got 5 offers. We can stop everything and counter them all. So the next counter that goes out, the 4 new offers are going to get seller multiple counter offer number 1. That other buyer who's on buyer counter number 1, they're going to get seller multiple counter offer number 2 because it's still seller counter number 2. It's now just a multiple style counter, that's all, which puts all the buyers on notice to say, you're not the only one in this deal. So the 5 offers you get, they're probably going to be different, right? They're all going to be slightly different. Right? So how do I counter them? Can I counter them all with different terms?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Why would you?
Pardon?
Why would you?
Because they're all different.
They're all different.
So if this guy has a 30-day escrow, this guy has a 10-day escrow, this guy has a 45-day escrow, and I'm like in 21, I'm going to counter everybody with a 21. Or if the escrow periods don't matter, I can leave them all and counter something else. So that it's important for the buyers to know that, like, your terms, this isn't necessarily the everybody do this counter offer. This is a counter offer to
Just to you.
Just to you.
But
There's
you
other
know that
counter
there's-
offers out. Yeah. That's what this form does, is lets them know there's other counter offers out. The trigger right there. And that's where this form came from, was letting them know there's other counteroffers out. And then, so let's back up a little bit to, when you have a counteroffer, I just regular counteroffer, right? When you have something out, and then you get acceptance. What creates acceptance? Which is where this thing's completely different. No, on a regular, not the multiple, but on a regular counter or regular offer or something. So two
both
things
parties
have to
sign.
happen. Yeah, so it has to be signed
Yeah.
and delivered, right? Two things have to happen. So let's say you got 5 counteroffers out, they're on the regular old form, and the 5 of them come back within the time period. They're all signed, they're all delivered. You sold the house 5 times. You were on your way on the old form.
On this,
You were
it has
on
to
your
come
way to
back the
arbitration
seller.
with the old.
The seller has.
We went to so many arbitrations over timestamps on a fax machine and all kinds of crap. So they put a checkbox in the old counteroffer form and said, oh, by the way, multiple counter, added multiple counter language that said, seller gets a chance to pick after they come back. Well, they always miss the checkbox, and they go, we need a form. You guys keeping up okay? Any questions on that? Yeah, you're right there, 21.
That's it, Forever 21. That's her new nickname. There you go. You just got it. You've been here 10 minutes. You got a new nickname. Forever 21. She got it.
So the seller multiple counteroffer, the main difference in it is it avoids the horse race we used to have. We went to arbitration so many times and paid referrals until there was no money left. We'd have to calm the other agent down who actually just sold it, like totally legitimately sold it, and go back and help them make their buyer happy. And usually it took some money. It was a disastrous time in real estate. The internet didn't.
That's when Gary flourished.
No, everything got paid out to everybody but him.
Yeah, we won some of this. We had an office that should remain nameless. I so want to say it.
Say it.
They brought attorneys and everything, and it was like, you can't go to arbitration and get the panel chuckling because you're probably winning.
Yeah.
They don't look at them and go like that at first. They just threw it out, especially if they have a lawyer. The thing got thrown out.
Yeah.
We survived the chuckling panel because I said something. They're like,
Yeah.
and their attorney looked like a complete jackass. We had $1,000 a month payments coming from their broker for like 2 years. It was
Beautiful.
like welfare, man. He goes, we had to pay out 2 commissions on that already. Well, we earned one.
Please tell me they were big and
We
yellow.
earned one.
Were they big and yellow?
No, it was the other color. Everybody else is blue.
So they're big and red.
Pretty much. So red hadn't been invented yet. I remember when I was 89. You'll get it.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it.
Right, they're gone.
We'll talk after.
Yeah, right. I can never tell. Maybe I can. It wasn't on the panel.
So
So the cure for all that was is in the acceptance paragraph and expiration and all that stuff. But paragraph 2, as you'll see right there. Oh, wait, I got a point. Binding effect. It says right there, like notice you got to let it know. Right? Seller is making, I can see this, multiple counteroffers to other prospective buyers on terms that may or may not be the same as in this multiple counteroffer. This multiple counteroffer does not bind seller and buyer unless all of the following occur in the time specified. We had a really hard time with when does this thing expire? Because a normal counteroffer expires in 3 days. When they first made the seller multiple counteroffer, it expired in 3 days. And it took a while for the agents to get a handle on the fact that you had to get it out, get it back, and get the seller to countersign it before 5 p.m. on the 3rd day. So they were always late. So in whenever they last edited this thing, which is always right down here at the bottom, right there, December of 2015, they edited this thing and added a day. So that way, if you're used to the old getting it back in 3 days, you can get it back in 3 days and it was still alive. It used to be dead at 5 on the 3rd day. And of course, like we said before, you can change that by typing in that paragraph 3. So paragraph 2 says, and it's the directions are right there, right? This is one of the other forms, just directions on the form. So all the following has to happen in the time specified below. Seller has to sign in paragraph 5, which actually makes the counteroffer. Buyer has to sign in paragraph 7, which accepts the counteroffer. Seller signs in paragraph 8 after he picks the one he wants. And he should do that within the time specified. But now they've made it 4 days. It should be. So in paragraph 3, the expiration is still 5 p.m. on the 3rd day. Paragraph 6 talks about the 4th day. And then paragraph 8 is where the seller signs. I'll never know why they didn't just make paragraph 6 and 8 one paragraph and put it all in there together. You guys see all that works? Understand how both kind of works? Any questions at all? Any trouble, just holler.
So is it they have 3 days on the offer, 4th day for the seller to accept?
Exactly. Seller ratifies.
Unless you specify otherwise.
Yeah, you can change the dates, and now this is coming from the seller. Those are probably all going to look the same. The sellers, you're making 5 counter offers. You have a management headache if you start giving them all
different times.
Dates. Yeah, the main thing is avoid the management headache because you're the one in the cat room. When it doesn't go right, it's you. It's all you. This is all your crap. You stupid form. What happened there? I wanted the other offer. So make sure they kind of get what's going on. All right, cool. Pretty much. Just letting it sink in. I forgot all about this right at the bottom. We still have a confirmation of acceptance initial spot all the way down at the bottom right above like the bidder end of the page. We talked about that right on offers and stuff before. And it has all the same language. Our binding agreement is created when a copy of the signed seller selection is personally received by a buyer. So just because the seller signs it, it doesn't mean anything until it goes back to the buyer. The seller could sign them all and say, let me sleep on it. I'll probably have like a vision. Not send back all ratified. Keep 4 of them, send 1 back. That's the one you get. It works the same way as when the buyer makes an offer, the seller signs it, it has to go back to the offer. Forms have to go back to this is the only form where you don't end on the one that made the form. It always goes back to the author of the form. The people that generated the form, when they get it back, that's a done deal.
They don't have to sign it, they just have to receive it.
You mean for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so binding agreement is created when a copy of signed seller selection is received by buyer or buyer's authorized agent, whether or not confirmed in this document. So we confirm them for bookkeeping and ease of use and all that kind of stuff. But make sure you put the right time and date in there. If you got that thing back at 5 o'clock this afternoon and you didn't write on it until tomorrow and you wanted to initial it because you like doing that, you got to backdate it. You have to do it right. You have to backdate it to when you receive it. Don't ever date it. Just you signing it affects the contract, doesn't affect the contract at all. So you're not supposed to, don't do stuff like that. Backdate that. Make those dates match. You don't sign that for 2 weeks. Or you don't sign it, you don't care or initial it. And you get an agent that's like really hardcore on it, backdate. The only way it'll work is backdate because you're changing the acceptance date. Escrowing people are going to look at that stuff. They're probably going to use that date that you put in there. It's the wrong date. All the time periods are wrong. The whole train's off the track. So make sure the dates match. If you generated the form and you got it back at 3 o'clock this afternoon, put 3 o'clock this afternoon, right? Capiche?
Before you go get a glass of wine, send it back to the buyers.
Yeah, because you're going to spill it.
Exactly.
Crap. Maybe. All right. So what's my hit list here? So I got any management here. Can I do anything I want? Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You guys can't see them nodding. Okay. One of the forms on my list is the water heater smoke detector compliance form. There is one brokerage left alive that I know of that didn't take CAR's direction and get rid of that form and quit using it. So I don't know why it's in my stuff to teach. I guess Because when you get an escrow with Century 21, they're gonna want this form, you probably need to know how to. Now I'm gonna talk to you.
You brought him up.
I did, yeah, because I mean, that's what's gonna happen. There isn't anybody else that I'm aware of that's using this form.
Because it's written in the contract. It's written in the new form.
Well, it's written in the form, and then there's, you have to sign a statement of compliance as part of the ordinance. What's in the TDS?
Right.
It's in the TDS. So we pretty much don't need this form anymore. Now, the wrinkle is this, a lot of this language is in the transfer disclosure statement now, right? So could you ever have a transaction that's exempt from a transfer disclosure statement and there won't be one? I know we haven't talked about disclosures, but it's like a trust. There's 4 or 5 instances, right?
If they haven't lived in the home before.
Yeah, there's
Yes.
some things where even with a trust, it could be required, but generally speaking, a trust would be off the hook. They were supposed to change that law for me last year, so it'd be easier to teach. Pardon?
Why wouldn't trust just because of the trust?
Well, you could see that, like, if grandpa dies and one of the grandkids is a trustee and they're in Minnesota, like, that makes perfect sense. You're like, you gotta fill out the TDS. I've been there for 37
Exactly.
years.
Don't know a thing.
Yeah, don't know a thing, right? So who does have to fill out a disclosure every single time, even though they didn't live in the house and didn't know anything until they put a key in the lockbox? The agent, you gotta do it every time. It's like, I've never lived there. I don't even know grandpa, but I gotta do my form. Even smart, but hey, we're just that good at it. So if you have a transaction, and here's the interesting part, if any of this is interesting, that's exempt from a transfer disclosure statement, they're exempt from something, from another ordinance for complying with something verbatim in an ordinance. Wonder what that one is. This is for all the money. Smoke detectors. Smoke detectors. All
But
right.
but that's usually.
Smoke detectors in the contract.
Yeah.
And if you put it in the contract and they sign it, they're stuck, except for every one of those paragraphs says if required by law.
That's correct.
They're exempt. They're probably going to do it. I mean, do it anyway. Like, oh no, he died in the fire because it was exempt. No, frick, how much are smoke detectors? Right? I mean, you do it if they want to do it. Don't worry about it.
But then most of the loans will require it.
You mean the when the appraiser goes?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're going to be looking for like all the trouble we have with carbon monoxide detector. For
Exactly.
the first
Carbon monoxide smoke
2
detectors,
years.
the hot water heater is strapped down.
So that's where I'm going with this. So they're exempt from the smoke detector, so they don't have to sign a statement of compliance. That's what they're exempt from. But they probably got to put one in anyway because they signed the contract, right? And somebody, a buyer might get stuck doing when the appraiser catches it. So the interesting part, I guess that I'm trying to make interesting, they're not exempt from the water heater strap.
Right. Because appraiser's going to make you do that.
No, it's the
Somebody's
law.
gonna-
There's
Right,
no
it's the law.
exemption.
That's correct.
It's
Yeah.
there is no exemption. All the guys who are exempt from the TDS and exempt from the smoke detector are not exempt from water heater strap. Apparently, the earthquake law has a lot more teeth.
I had one, Gary, where the guy had one of the electronic hot water heaters mounted on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
But he had the solar up on top and went into a storage bin that just happened to be a water detector.
So that's going to have to be strapped.
No,
What?
not a water heater. It technically is one, but it's not hooked up. There's no gas, there's no power to it. It's just a storage tank that's got insulation around it.
So what did the
That makes
appraisers,
sense,
or what did the appraiser say, or what did
He agreed
the
with me, it didn't need to be strapped.
Yeah,
home
I think-
inspector?
It didn't need to be strapped, but it's not being used as a hot water heater.
Isn't the whole point of being strapped because it's hooked up to gas?
Gas and electric, yeah, not looking for a spill, they're looking for an explosion, yeah,
Not
exactly.
worrying about water damage.
You are correct.
Which I'm just preparing for myself.
So there's a kind of an interesting exemption there, right? You don't have to do the smoke detector, but you do have to do the water heater. We have a form for everything.
Oh, look at him, he got his car
We have that many forms in your business, the table goes. Right. We have a water heater statement of compliance. So when you have a transaction where they're exempt from the TDS, exempt from the smoke detector, not exempt from water heating, we have a form. This bonus form was on the list.
CYA.
So can anybody remember, I think Stacy's coming tomorrow. Does that sound familiar? Stacy Axon. Is that a surprise? Oh, shit.
That's it, yeah. That's, I don't know.
You're the only one that knows. I'm getting nothing but blank stares. You're probably going to get an email later.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Stacy Axon's coming tomorrow because you guys,
Asked her to.
It's 4 hours of training. She's gonna be here at 7:30.
Ooh.
No idea. No, it's 6 at night. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, she'll be here till 10. I have no clue. But I did hear a rumor that she was coming. Stacy Axon, First American title.
Kristen,
I could be wrong.
is she coming tomorrow? What time?
Oh, yeah, you have an office
Oh,
meeting. Oh, there you go.
Oh,
It's not
Oh.
7:30?
So we have a 9:30 office meeting. Okay, there we go.
What time is the 9:30 office meeting?
9:30. Yeah, what time's the 9:30 office meeting?
Tell me that all week. What time at 8:30
Yeah.
do we have to be?
What time at
tomorrow?
8:30 do you have to be down here?
Exactly.
I ask you a question, yes or yes? Gonna come tomorrow, yes or yes? All right, cool. So she I'd hate to take this away from her. She loves the wire fraud advisory.
Oh, God, don't they all?
So I'm gonna just leave it to her. She has better stories than I do, but it's on my list. We'll fire it up. So this form now loads with just about every contract you pull. So you already said, you know what, you need that too, because we weren't using it. Because until they like put red somewhere, I'm not using it. I'm just too lazy. I don't want to send 7,000 freaking pages. Anyway, so it's an important form, but I kind of want to leave it to Stacy. I'll email her and tell her not to forget it. It's important because people are hacking agent emails, I guess, and they're watching for, hey, those idiots are in escrow. You know, it's 1.5 million, you know, because everything's going back and forth in those emails. So they wait until the $1.1 million loan is about to fund, and they send wiring instructions to the buyer for the deposit or something, because they're going to put the rest of the 400 G's in. So the $1.1 million is probably going to land in First American's account. The 400,000 is going to go to Pennsylvania, Hong Kong, TG, bang, bang, bang. See ya.
Cameroon.
So her, they had to go chase down the biggest single amount that's ever been lost through wire fraud was First American. So she loves to tell that stuff. Yeah, it was a lot bigger than that 400. I don't want to steal anything.
Yeah, okay.
So they freaked out, and we got forms. Just so you know. And I mean, what's the cure for all that stuff? You know, right? Change your password once in a while, pretty much does it. And I think in general, don't use Yahoo. I get more crap email from, hey, Gary, I thought you'd like this from Yahoo accounts than anything in the world. When I get it from a Gmail account, I know it's because you haven't changed your password since you were 11. Yeah, it's still doggy fluff.
When did you go from?
I hate it when they make me change my password, but I know it's from my own game. I usually change it back. But now they go, you can't do that, you already used it. It used to work.
Yeah.
You know, I put some random crap in there. You know, I
Did I
say
forget?
number one and put
At number 1 or put in number 2.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I used to just add ones. Now I have 7 ones. Like, oh, sorry. So what am I doing now? Then there's shower. Get the water heater stuff. You guys got the same list, so we're gonna kind of stay with it. Stay away, buyer and seller. That it doesn't come in, but when the template lady gets the templates all squared away, this will be in your templates. I used to hate this form because when it first came out, I thought, you got to be kidding me. We got the buyer's inspection advisory. Now we got the statewide buyer and seller advisory. Because we were working with 6 or 8 pages, and we went right to like 24. Come on. We're still printing them with fax. It was annoying. But as I got to know the form, I liked it a lot better. It basically, you know, you've seen those office forms like, you guys have one? You guys got one, local disclosure. Kind of
Local disclosure.
This takes care of an awful lot of that kind of stuff. In fact, when Prudential had one, so I stacked it up against the SBSA and got rid of it. I took it down to 1 page because half of the stuff they said, you know, that the SBSA is good enough, I think, because the language in it would apply. And you got to keep an eye on those local disclosures and make sure that still works. But always use it all the time. And a couple of just the points I want to make on this thing is, read it sometime. You know, it's all in English, but it's really long. There's all kinds of cool stuff in there, like there's microwaves that were put in, like Berry Gardens is loaded with them, that are actually named as a recall in the SBSA. No one knows that because no one reads that stuff. One of my clients made me read it one time and thought, wait a minute, you got your microwave. Check it out, matches like it. And then those Furnaces, they were putting in the attics, like laying them on their sides or something. Every condo in Black Lake that hasn't had it R&R still has it. They're in it. And they're in there named with a serial number as a recall. There's a lot of really good stuff in there. There's a really good drought advisory thing in there. There's all kinds of stuff about neighborhood nuisances. There's, if you live on a golf course, there's a very good chance you're getting hit by a golf ball, just saying. It's like, who puts that?
Some of the friends I play with, you will get hit in your house already.
Marijuana made it too, I think. Anybody know? I think it did. Wells are in here. Come on.
Megan's Law's in there.
Megan's Law is in there, right?
when
Yeah,
you-
we used to have a separate.
When do you use this and which party fills this out?
Okay, excellent point. Marijuana and methamphetamine labs. I mean, it's they're
Right down in Grover.
covering a lot of crap. Yeah, I run into them more in like Sway.
Yes.
Yeah, there'll be like, is that your motorhome? Wait, what motorhome? Ah. Go after, oh, wow. Man. Yeah, the Vegas guys all know, the cops. That's where we learned what it smells like. It's 20 years ago, they were cooking it there. We learned out from them somehow. And you'd be showing them property, like 2 cops in Vegas can retire. We go, wait, stop. We got to make a phone call. What? He goes, it's a freaking meth lab. We don't know. We're pure here. Pure meth. That's right. You get to the page I want. Is that better? Oh man, you didn't. Oh, you didn't. It still doesn't work. I know. I like having a computer. It's a big help, except for that part. You know what I really miss? In the zip form standard version and in the online version from years and years ago, there were radio buttons. You want to go to the last page, just hit last, boom, last page. Love it. Yeah, it's modern interwebs crap. No radio button. Why don't I have a radio button? So Noah says, where does this come from? When do we include it and all that stuff? Who signed it? Here's the signature block. Everybody signs. Everybody signs. So you send it with your offer. You get your seller to sign one at the time of listing.
So if I'm representing a buyer, I send that with my RPA.
You get that all filled. Yeah. They should just make it pull up with your RPA.
It probably will auto-populate.
Eventually, yeah, it does. Yeah, when you have templates, it will, because the templates will be all set up with all 27 of the common use forms used in your.
And when I'm representing a seller, I have at the time of signing the listing agreement, I have them fill out one of these as well.
Right.
Correct.
Because it's a statewide seller and buyer advisory. So what you can do, because it says in the RPA and all the other contracts that the forms can be signed in counterpart, if they are a dead bang match, then you can sign them in counterpart. You can have the buyer signed up on their SBSA, and you can have the seller and you signed up on yours, and that's legit.
It's like AG to AG. There's probably no difference in what's going on locally and all that stuff.
So is it for area as well? Like, are you supposed to?
Statewide.
Okay.
Statewide. California.
So there's the difference. Paragraph 57. I think I might answer that question. Local addenda if checked. That's where all my local stuff goes. The Pismo Beach Water Conservation Area, San Luis Obispo County Right to Farm. If I have a Hubbell Group local area disclosure, it goes there, right?
Yeah.
So now, I'm representing the buyer. I send that in with my RPA. The seller's got to sign that. Mine's different. They have to be a dead bang match to be signed in counterpart. When the seller, who's obviously missing all that stuff, or often missing all that stuff, when they don't have that as part of their SBSA, then they got to sign yours. They just went through that with Patterson and made them sign mine.
So is it whoever has more filled out?
If they don't match, one of them came with the offer. One of them's going to be in that escrow. The listing is never a part of the escrow. None of that crap in that listing.
Okay, so the buyer trumps it.
So the RPA rules, I guess you could say, staying within the 4 corners of the contract. The RPA, generally the RPA is a ruling document for the escrows. So yeah, if yours has more stuff, they have to sign it. They can send theirs if they want to. I don't send it back and write rude. Okay,
Depends on who it comes from. Yeah, exactly.
Because the next thing you know, then I wind up training at the office. That didn't happen. I see myself going to Patterson and weird too. I have so many emails drafted to send them to straighten their crap out of his emails. So you can ask her with Patterson, just kind of close one eye a little bit because they're going to do everything wrong. I don't know why. Maybe it was just the actual Morro Bay branch manager that I was in escrow with that doesn't know anything. I don't know.
That's good.
That could be. It could be. Yeah, that's the key to the SBSA is with the listing and with the RPA, whichever side of that thing you're on, do one, and then the one with the RPA rules the transaction. So if you have one, you can send your sellers over to them and your signature on it, call it good. If that paragraph 57 is blank, because there's nowhere else they can write them.
Is there any reason this doesn't auto pop with those if it's required? Because I didn't know that on all the offers that I've made, I've never attached one of those. And, so I mean, this is my first time learning about this form. So is this just something I should be aware of that hey, doing smart real estate, I will pull this up with all my offers when I submit them? Or is it?
You're going to make some templates, yeah.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a template training.
Yeah. That's
That's
an Angie question, David question, because we do have a Hubbell. It should mirror this. It has, but that's going to be, but yeah. So if it doesn't auto-populate, I don't know why Zim doesn't have it auto-populate yet.
You mean pull in what we
yeah,
up here, like to do with all this. It's all up to the brokers, is what it is, because that standard forms committee is a bunch of agents. They do whatever they want. They write language, they do everything. Then it goes to Howard and Neal and all the attorneys, and they send it back if they did it wrong. But the agents run wild with the standard forms. The attorneys just are there to keep it legal and keep from breaking the law by writing a clause that's impossible. So we used to bitch at the attorneys all the time. Finally, somebody said, "You ever see that committee? It's a bunch of damn real estate agents. That's who makes these crazy forms." And the committee, it's a huge committee, a lot of people on it. I don't know why it
should,
but it will. When you have templates and you tell it, "I want to write an offer," it'll say, "Do you have a template?" You'll tell it, "Yes, I have a purchase template." There it is. And it will be partially filled out because you'll have a cover sheet in your templates that's filled out. That cover sheet is a saving grace.
That's it. He's right. Fill the cover sheet.
You fill
out.
in the cover sheet
forms for everything you do, and you don't have to go back and find emails for people, phone numbers for people, or any of that.
The cover sheet. What's the cover?
Show them, Gary. Yeah. So when you're getting ready to write an offer or a listing, fill this form out first. Fill it out. It'll auto-populate.
And then everything after.
You'll never have to go look an email up again,
so,
phone number again. It takes it in with the
So when you do
contacts.
your template, you can have a cover sheet in your template that has all your information on it, so that you will never type. You have to fill out a whole paragraph.
Her email, but not his, and you have to go find his. Fill the cover sheet out, and you'll never have to go find his.
Right.
It'll auto-populate.
So you'll be all set. The cover sheet in your template will auto-pop all your main information into your transaction. Then you use MLS Connect to go get the listing agent's information. You guys seen that work?
I've never used that.
Okay, you will. Yeah. Template lady, MLS Connect.
And I'll bring it up tomorrow in the
Yeah.
templates.
Yeah, you save all the time you're wasting by having templates. I mean, it's like, that's how come you can go that fast. People go, "So we want to write an offer. What's it take? Give me 5 minutes." Bang, because I have the whole thing all written up already. And now we're going to go through and go like, "Okay, what's the price?" I have all kinds of check boxes in my templates to remind me to address that paragraph. I may take that check out when I'm finishing my transaction. All my work's done before I get there. I am really, really, really lazy. Really like a lot lazy.
Now you're here.
Okay, so, and then MLS Connect, everybody remember, because Bobby's a real estate agent, that he's going to bring that up. You wrote it down.
I'm writing it down right now. Otherwise, it will not get there.
Yeah. Anybody use MLS Connect yet? Here?
I do not. No. Explain. Do that. Go over that, Gary.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Another
Oh,
question.
Okay.
Back up just a second. If we're a few days in an escrow, should we
You
just?
have a form question?
statewide? Yeah,
You're
back to
awesome.
the statewide thing. If we're a few days in escrow and that hasn't been done, should I just send it off?
What hasn't
The
been?
statewide buyer seller?
Yeah, sure. Try to get it in there. Yeah. So if you wrote the offer and you included it with your offer,
Which we didn't.
So you got an open escrow now?
Yeah.
I'd say, that's like you're right, this Bob, Dave, Angie, Kristen, whoever
Yeah,
questioned.
Angie will let you know.
Yeah.
You will get,
You'd think like,
rather
somebody would have
than
said,
waiting for
where's your
that.
SBSA?
Should we just preemptively just send it off?
I would probably not, because you will have, if you've got an open escrow, Angie will get with you and go, I need this.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the things you missed. If not, you can bring it up to her, which I guarantee she already knows. But yeah, there'll be 3 or 4 more things you need to do.
Is there
It'll
any,
get
is there any
It'll
instance
get
where you don't?
Is it in San Luis County or San Juan County? Because they're all
It's
different.
probably
And
in,
SBSA.
do you have it in,
San
go
Juan
through,
County,
go through Skyline and look.
Did
Yeah,
someone else do it?
yeah. Angie probably did. Angie probably did a lot of the stuff you guys have forgotten and not told you because she's just so damn efficient. But yeah, ask her, and that'll just make you better. And but yeah, I will bring it up with her and David about trying to get a template, a Hubbell template form in there for when you do it. Because yours is the same as mine, is the same as Elizabeth. You know, if we do it all right, because we do have a Hubbell. Statewide buyers and sellers about, we have a Hubbell advisory, we send out every day, which basically says the same thing. Hey, we're close to Diablo. Hey, there's this over here. Hey, we're close to,
I gotcha.
you know,
all
Vandenberg. All the local disclosures, it's just Hubbell's name on it
I got
to CYA.
Yeah, it's kind of a, you're tasked with, there's a level of knowledge that the state of California judicial system has decided that you have by virtue of living in an area and practicing business and stuff. They think you know about pitch canker and and all that crap.
The horn
Maybe you do, maybe
the
you
horn
don't.
toad newt.
So they got these, we used to use the just shake and bake clause, but I talked about that a lot. Let me though, in fact, draw your attention to paragraph 5. That box wasn't checked.
Yeah.
Are we still on that?
You're now amending the contract.
Right.
So this is in the RPA, right? And all the purchase agreements.
So if that was checked, you're covered.
Gotcha.
Well, if it was checked, it should have went like,
It should,
where was it?
yeah, it should have auto-populated.
Yeah, if you check that box, it'll pull it in. Well, we'll get to all, that's all part of the training. That's more of the mechanics. We're here with legality and theory and stuff like
Is
that.
that when you can check your check?
Yes. Yeah, no, you can check it.
Yeah, there's only one. Where is it?
The buyer's inspection's always checked.
That's check. You can't uncheck.
Yeah,
that.
check
Okay, that's the one.
Yeah, every once in a while, there's
Oh,
a thing in there that,
it's right under, I got
Yeah,
it.
it's right under.
sorry.
But if you hit trust advisory, it would bring over the trust form, would it not, Gary?
Yep.
So it's
Yeah,
just-
whenever-
But it
whenever you
also
hit a
brings
check
up the
box.
trust form when you fill it out for, isn't there a spot in a different part of the contract that's, oh, maybe it is that.
Right there.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Yeah,
the one
that's
I did was
where,
trust, and I was
that's where you
thinking,
attach agendas and advisories
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what you'll do is when you make your templates, right, you'll put all your local, I actually had a template called local area disclosures. Like if I didn't write the offer and they did a typical shit job of writing the offer, I went to ferry for a week. I was sending me shit. Come on.
You're offended 21, so just remember that.
What? Oh, yeah, we're 21.
Is there any instances where you would make an offer and check the addendum box on, I mean, because don't you usually do the addendums after your offer's been?
It all depends. If you wanted to write
If you want
something in here, for some
yeah.
reason, if something you needed to write some other terms in here. Now, CARs made these really small because we don't want you writing anything. We don't want you composing language. We want you checking boxes and going la-di-da through your escrow. Leave the composition to attorneys, because when you start writing on that, you are practicing law. We are actually allowed to practice law if we're filling out a CAR contract, nothing else. That's why I've always had trouble with local area disclosures and stuff. They're not covered here. We just practice law. Make sure an attorney wrote your disclosure, not anybody else, is good advice I've heard before. And then the attorneys also say, don't call them disclosures, now you're disclosing. Call them advisories, just help them out. Take disclosure off of everything is what they say. And then we'll get 50 new forms that have disclosure on, but it's CAR, so it's their fault.
Addendum you would write it.
So an addendum, like if something won't fit in the box, you might need some.
A solar contract or you're gonna addendum one, you have to purchase the solar that's also on the roof or something along those lines.
Well, it's addressed in the contract now. There, you check some boxes in there and stuff, and you address it as you're going through. Yeah, you may very well have to amend or addend or append a contract as you go through escrow, like the request for repairs, all that stuff. Those things amend the contract. Yes. Yep. So yeah, the only reason you'd attach an addendum is if something didn't fit. Or we talked about addendums and counteroffers a while back, like you had an expired offer and you're going to wake it up. You could do it with an addendum if you had to. It's like, this is a part of the agreement, so-and-so that was dead and now is dead, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, counteroffer is basically the best way to do it. We're creating a new offer out of the old one and the new one. And I like that better.
Because that was
Yeah,
binding.
That's a little.
You're not muddying the water.
Yeah, counteroffer is like, yeah, anybody can figure that out. Yeah, dumb it down is a key to it.
Because there are a lot of dumb real estate agents. Gary and I live in proof of that.
Yeah, testing that. My wife's got a real estate license for transaction coordination. She goes, I think I'll get a license. Like, bang, well, I have one.
Yeah.
Well, it was hard. You know. I told her, it might be harder than you think it is because you have real estate experience. This is not a good thing to go into a state test with. You don't want to know how to drive and then try to take a test. What else have I got here? Oh, Bob did mention the single party compensation agreement. I'm going to open it and close it. And close it. No. I don't know why that's in here. I assume when I used to do forms and do the agenda and all that stuff, if something happened, I did like 14 phone calls on the RCSD. It's on the list for Wednesday, and we're doing it Wednesday. I don't know if somebody ran into this, didn't know what to do with it over the last week or so. It was on my list of stuff to teach today. Now, it wouldn't have been on my list because I would do all the listing and compensation agreements and everything in one shot, and I'll do that. I'll just do that next Wednesday. But this was on my list of things to do. So this is a document where you can, we used to call it the single party listing, where you can basically list a property, so to speak, for one buyer. It's kind of like a commission agreement, but it sets out agency relationships and stuff. So I'm going to a FSBO and I got a buyer for his house.
Yeah.
It's kind of a FSBO form. Did you guys do FSBOs yesterday?
Yes.
Maybe that's why they got in my list. I need to pay more attention. What the hell is going on here? That's a good, that would work to list a FSBO. If you're going to list a FSBO, list them.
Yeah.
You hit with all 27 pages. It's like, you know, really, so the best chance, like we were talking, the best chance for you to get the most money in the shortest amount of time for your house is to get out to the open market. Would you agree? Doesn't that make sense? Why would you say no? Are you some kind of right? Yeah, just list them. And then your buyer gets first shot. That's legit. It's an accident of fate that just happened to work out. Your buyer better have it together.
Yeah.
And when you tell a physical you have a buyer why? Because they go, yeah, I know. Doesn't everybody? Now they do, right? Everybody's got a first buyer. Yeah. Sorry, I keep turning this way. This thing's bugging. I'm going to get used to that. Yeah. I know you're here.
You're just not as cute.
I know you're all here. All right, is that good? I think I got through the whole list. Any questions on anything? Like, what are you talking about?
Now you brought up MLS Connect. You're going to have to go over that next time.
You guys want to see it running?
Yeah.
Right. Dashboard. Am I in my county? Yes, I am. So here's my dashboard right over here. Big blue button. Create a new transaction. In fact, now you'll see templates at work. Why not, right? So let me tell you something else too while we're doing this. It's hard to do this with listings. Unless you're picking up an expired or something, you can pull that listing information up, and now you pulled in the listing agent and all that junk with it.
Yeah.
Can be, you know, now you got to take it out. So
Right.
What time did I say it, right? Zip Forms is hooked. Go in and push a couple of buttons in your RPR account. It'll auto pop listing information from RPR. It doesn't have a listing information. It's like when you're putting a listing in the MLS and it auto pops from the tax records. RPR allows Zip Forms to do that now. So Zip Forms can pull in like the address, the assessor's parcel number, and just a few little things from RPR. And everybody has an RPR account, whether they know it or not, right? Realtor Property Resource, free thing. It almost killed the statewide MLS all by itself. Except that MLS is a vehicle created to offer compensation to agents. RPR wasn't going to be that. So it's like a giant real list. Is what it is. It's got just about it'll have everybody in it eventually because now it's all free and NAR owns it and all that junk. So they'll fix it all up. But you can auto pop. From RPR. Comments, template. What am I doing? I'm writing an offer. I have a few templates. There, I can't find them. Who's this one? Residential purchase. It should have better name. Save. Zip form is about create a template and put all the forms in it. Ipso facto. It's magic. How about them owls? Most of those are filled out.
Nice.
We might cover. That crap you got to type every time is already there.
Yep.
All right. So, and what am I going to call this? I got some random stuff left in there that doesn't change much. 30-day escrow, 10,000 deposit. Problem. Yeah. So whoops, sorry. That's out a little screen. Got it. See the MLS Connect button? That's important to know now because now in the new version they moved it. The old version it's over here, new version it's over there. That's pretty complex. New interface. Watch. Watch what? Where to go? So it takes me to an MLS interface. And now, does anybody know an MLS number off the top of their head who has a computer open on their desk? Is anybody in the MLS right now? Yeah, it's like I need audience help right now. I need a volunteer from the audience. Catch this frisbee.
Come on, Elizabeth.
All right.
Dave's going to win this on a mobile device.
Yeah.
Here's one. I mean, you could, right? Fire up the, fire up the app, look at one house,
Yeah, exactly.
all right? Hey, make it $5 million. You know what? I know what to do. Somebody find me 1494
Okay, I
Big
have
Baldy.
one.
I'm trying to make that.
Okay, PI 171 88809.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay, so now I put the MLS number in, right? MLS listing ID. Include property photo. Find it. If I did a good job of that, it will now find it and fill in. It'll answer all the questions right below the dead circle.
Boom.
Wow.
That's pretty nice.
How much is that? I might not want to work on that.
Yeah.
Import. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. How about that?
Wow.
There you go.
Boom. Right.
5 minutes. We're done.
And the other thing that, like Bob was saying, used to take forever. Why? There's all the listing agents crap right down to the license number.
Nice. MLS Connect.
That is some good.
Live it, love it, know it. Cover sheet, full of that stuff. That sheet.
So you fill one out and just save it with your information. And
Right at the beginning. Yeah,
Make a
if you
template.
put in a template, make a template out
You
of
gotta
it.
make
But
that.
then every time you do one, if you don't have a template, if you do a template, you do it one, it'll bring it over. If not, every time you do a new
You gotta
one,
redo
you
it.
pull up an RPA, pull the cover sheet over, and the RPA.
So I should just do a
pull that
whole
out.
pre-agreement template.
Yes,
You're gonna-
yes.
Back to your dashboard for a minute. Good.
I know how. I did. Look at that.
Okay, that create a transaction, where's that look? I see it up in yours, but I don't even see it on my page.
Are you at the dashboard?
This dashboard,
Oh, you're in the old version. Yeah. Okay. So if you go to transactions. Yep. So all you do is you click that. So if you go to up here where it says try new plus, then your screen's going to look like mine.
Try
Big
to
red.
I've tried it a couple times.
Okay. Yeah. That's why it looks different. That's
I go
that's
into
the
the-
new
I
dashboard.
think a class.
New dashboard, try new
No.
plus.
I'd like a class.
Oh, I fumble around in there.
See, this thing, it's like, you know,
Too much
I
time.
mean, I got, how many freaking CRMs and everything else do I need with a damn dashboard? I'm really like, come on, buddy.
13, yeah, we wrote on that, 1375.
You're ready to
counter.
go with the difference
They
between a
counter
carbon monoxide
and
detector and
pissed off.
carbon
My dad got pissed off.
monoxide.
What's that?
You ever had any?
No.
You ever had any issues with carbon monoxide alarm and carbon monoxide detector? I almost made a mistake with that. Never put down carbon monoxide detector. That's required to be tied into the fire alarm.
You need smoke detector.
Carbon monoxide, it's required. If you have a carbon monoxide, right here. If you have a carbon monoxide detector, it's required to be tied into the fire alarm.
Talking about this.
I put that on the paper a couple of years ago, and I realized, no, it's not always put down alarm.
Word of mouth, another realtor.
An alarm is a standalone device, blah, 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 test the old standard and used with a fire alarm system. Never sees the power from the fire alarm. So CR got that wrong. Because it says CO detector and everything. We should never be writing that anyway. It's pre-printed in the contract, so we shouldn't have to.
Yeah, it was about 2 years ago, I had to put it in there.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah, you know, that's a form that should have been on there today. Find the transactions.
they've also showed some.
So the fire department told me they wanted 24 inches off the floor, and then everything I can find is the same, where they.
Yeah, nobody knows where to put it.
Well, usually the monoxide comes from the ground up. So the idea of 24 inches was if you're laying in bed, just took the alarm off for killing you. So now they started making fire alarms for those inside up on the ceiling. Well, okay, yeah, the alarm's going off, but you've been dead for an hour.
It's all right, you're charcoal now, it's all good.
So you buy those carbon monoxide ones, they're $31 and plug them on the wall.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, that was done.
Yeah.
Done. Sold
Gary's probably got them in his trunk.
30 of them.
Keep the supply. Use Cornerstone, Steve's got them in the truck.
Yeah.
Steve, just put them in
We used
there.
to carry them around. So, you know, while we're at that, I forgot about this. I thought, why is a water heater form in here and not this one?
Yeah.
So, when I was running the forms deal over at Prudential and CCRG and Remax and all them guys, I was always trying to get rid of forms. So we had carbon monoxide detector form. And I made everybody use it and keep using it and keep using it and keep using it. Water heater smoke detector, I got rid of that. The first thing that TDS came out in 2010 with a change. I'm like, you're out of here. And look at you, that saved you guys a form, you know. Carbon monoxide detector talked all about why it's done in the carbon monoxide detector notice. So until CAR said you guys can quit using that, and I told everybody, CAR said we could stop, not me. I like that form. So I kind of got my wish. Everybody's kind of backed off from using it. But then we had this, there's a new law in California where it's not just Arroyo Grande and San Luis that have a low flow stuff. The entire state of California is now like a low flow, shower heads, blah, 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 toilet state. So we have a form that says, that talks about water conserving plumbing fixtures. It went statewide, I think July 1st, January 1st, right, something. And they, so you have to use that. You want that in everything. I imagine it's going to show up here pretty soon, if it didn't already. And they put the carbon monoxide detector notice right at the bottom. And I thought, thank you. Because the contract now says put them in. That kind of in 1215, that helped me quite a bit. But it still says if required by law and every one of those. Carbon monoxide is not a point of sale requirement. It's not required by law to install at the time of the contract. But this explanation says, yeah, but it is. You're supposed to have one. I mean, it's not a point of sale. It means everybody should have went out and got one in July of 13, the day they were mandated. I was sad to see that form go, and then it came back as part of the water. Yeah, that's you guys want to. Somebody could bring that up tomorrow.
Similar things already in the detector, a lot smaller. Why do you need to pull in a hole?
What you get is it's office policy.
So when I
I love to create size and where that.
there should be like
What the hell are you doing out there?
Use a template, because I'll talk to engineers. We need to make an office-wide template, because
that would be very helpful.
Noah's written several offers and he hasn't had this in, and me as well. It's
But it's pretty new.
yeah, it's a relatively new form, but if we do.
It almost like repeats what's in there and then.
Some of it does, there's a lot.
Yeah, December
Is it-
2016 is pretty.
How many forms overlap? Probably 7 or 8?
Oh, I don't know, out of 300 and whatever that is forms, I don't know, 290.
Probably overlap each
I
other.
mean, redundancy is our friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the carbon monoxide detector form, it started to kind of go away. Now, a lot of times when they make a form like this, they'll get rid of the other.
And then
I
it used to
don't
be an AG. AG had, if you were selling a house, the city would basically come in and put new toilets in for it if there was money in the funds. So you had to know, okay, am I an AG? Yes, I am. Okay. So then you go get it fixed, and they'll give you a little sheet. You send that into escrow, and then they get paid back for it. So it's a nightmare.
Yeah, I think they ran out of money.
And then they run out of
There's
money.
any money in that
Yeah.
thing right now. San Luis is doing it too. Water Boys Plumbing.
That's it. Water Boys, yeah.
Trucks.
He was.
He's doing the retrofits. We
Yeah.
talked about, can you change the toilet? You got a minute? Boom.
Yeah. Well, it's changed.
Got a truckload of it.
Yeah.
That was a good contract.
Until the money ran. Oh, we're out of funds now, so you can't get it done.
And you get it
Oh,
from
but
the
now you have to
developer,
do
so when the market falls apart, then it's say the developers are going, what do you want from me? I'm not building any houses, I'm not buying any freaking toilets.
Right.
Indeed. Any questions on any of that? Cold or all that we've been discussing? I'll hang around for
When making an offer, when you write a RPA or something, how many other forms that don't auto-populate should you throw in?
He's going to bring up his.
I'll just show you a
Oh,
template.
look at him.
Here you
Now,
go.
my template,
His template, right?
I
Yeah.
like that. See that? Transactions,
Mhm.
templates. Stop that. I like the list. I like the list view because I was born then. I hate the freaking thumbnails. But if you guys like the thumbnails, that's what they look. Open it. Open up. I didn't even know how to open it. There, like that. I guess.
What was his first one? Cover sheet. You see that? Cover sheet, RPA.
Cover sheet's filled in. When I fill in the cover sheet, it auto pops every corresponding blank in every form that has a corresponding blank. Cover sheet is. The cover sheet was our savior, but that's.
Can you just start a template? See how to start one?
I think we're gonna.
Yeah, you're gonna have a blast.
What's
You guys got
okay, so
nothing?
state by guard, why do you have an addendum in there from the get-go?
You know what? That's an excellent question. I was thinking about that when you brought that up. I'm not too sure why that is. I have a guess. But when you, as soon as you create a transaction in zip forms, CAR somehow is convinced you need addendum, and an addendum shows up. Now the reason I think, and I never asked him, so I think it does, even though I'm not too sure it's the right addendum, but it's like a placeholder form. There's an addendum in there called the text overflow addendum. So when you're typing in a paragraph,
And you go further than this.
and you go 2 lines, and also very, very.
Yeah. See right there, there's not enough room.
Yeah.
You put
Is
C
there a
addendum
smaller
one.
one?
Oh, I got you,
C addendum 1, yeah.
Now, if I keep tapping, it's gonna go, you have too much text in that box, I will now attach an addendum for you. The software will fix that for you. It will create an addendum. It will change that to either C addendum, or I can't remember what it was, or CT.
Gotcha, but if you already have
form,
that
text
in there,
overflow.
then you don't have to it doesn't, what?
I think that's why it's in there. I didn't put that in there. Why would I put an addendum in there is your question. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
I didn't. CAR did. Zip forms did that. For me. They go, oh, by the way, here's your addendum. And I guess
I mean,
it's in
even-
case I needed.
You even had, you had your app in there already.
Yeah.
In your stuff, so.
Yep.
He's basically, the minute he sends an RP, a listing or an offer over and it gets accepted, or if it doesn't, it brings everything over for him. So if it does get accepted, he's basically got everything in this one form here that we would have in SkySlip, that Angie's gonna go,
So you
okay,
have
Noah,
everything-
you're now far enough along, go get your
So
agent
he has
visual
everything for like
inspection.
the whole,
Yeah, see, look,
whole setup.
he's got a seller.
So then when
Why
you
do you need a
cancellation
seller
of
multiple
contract,
counter
when
offer?
all
when
When
you
you
get
get
over the RPA, when you have this, new buyer, you're gonna send this off. You send off only what's necessary for the offer, but you have everything else auto-populated with that information, so when it does get accepted, you're good to go? Is that?
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, yeah, ... So I got all my forms there. So I have an entire transaction's worth of forms. Half of these I'll never use.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I don't use. I have a withdrawal of offer, a cancellation of contract.
Yeah. He's
He's
got everything in a request for repairs he will use.
I'm just
So you
ready
don't have
to
to
go.
pull these up in case they come out, they're already auto-populated.
They're in my template. So I overlay my template in my new transaction I created. And now those forms are in my, because this is I'm in a template.
Yeah,
And like when I opened that purchase tray, I called it MLS Connect, opened it, pulled the MLS Connect stuff in, laid the template on all 40 or whatever the hell it is.
they don't have to worry about going through
All
final
those
step,
forms.
filling them
Yeah.
out.
So what I
or
do,
Situation.
so I got my cover sheet, right? So I'm in a template now, so there's no buyer in there. So I made my transaction, my buyer's name would be there, my buyer's name would auto pop through the whole thing. So I've got some blanks in my template I need to fill out after I decide what the hell I'm doing with my template. So then I get the offer accepted. That's when I put in the seller's name and all that other junk in there. Now I just auto pop the seller all the way through all of my habit and all that junk. Cover sheet and the templates, everything's one man show. That's what I use.
So I think I understand where Greg's going with this question, this line of questioning, because I think we assumed that the template was a way to not forget to send something, right? So you have all your forms in there so you don't forget. But what you're saying is they're all in there, they'll all populate, but then you have the responsibility of making sure when it's time to send it off, it's on you to make sure you pick the right ones to send. Or is there a separate system where you can say, don't let me forget this thing because this is always gone.
Yes, it's called SkySlope.
Portfolio, right?
Well, okay, we have SkySlope, which I don't know if you've gone through it yet with Angie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and Angie, it's got a list for you to do and her to do. And so she will send over to you and say, you need to go get this done. And it'll, it's red, green, and
I think on Folio, you can set yourself notifications.
So here's what you do.
This
Well,
now
it's
is
like-
So here's what you do. You create a template that has only the things, the beauty of templates is you can put 57 templates in one transaction. So I have a residential purchase template, and then I have a short sale template with only 2 forms. I have an REO template with only 2 forms because I'm going to use my residential purchase template. And I'm going to overlay my short sale template. So you could abbreviate your templates. So you could have a template that says must have forms, right?
Yeah.
You're going to write an offer. I do these 5 forms. These are the ones I know I need. I got it. You could have another template that says when I open escrow, my disclosure obligations.
You're talking about knowing
templates.
when to send what, right?
Well, just like if you're gonna set up a template that's like every time I write a normal offer, these are all the forms I'm gonna do, but then have a separate one that this is every form that might come up.
Said Linda.
Eventually. I'm all right. I wasn't telling you to be quiet.
Cool.
So your point about when you get a sentiment, that's what you use, SkySlope ratio. There's a thing in here called zip TMS. Same thing.
But you can
The old
set
CAR had a
yourself
thing called
timelines
relay.
for each
You
document.
can make a
Well, that's what Angie's a transaction coordinator.
But being new, like I want to know how to do this stuff.
I'll get her, I'll talk to David, I'll be able to do a thing saying, let's do a template, let's do this, here's your normal stuff. And then here's what I'm gonna, she can explain that. Because now that we're getting more newer people in here, we need to do that. So I'll bring that up tomorrow.
Because that thing with the RCSD ended up, they already had one, already had it in. I just didn't know about
better where.
I believe in SkySlope, but I guess Angie had already been, I guess I just wasn't CC'd in the email.
Yeah, which to me is.
So I emailed them and Joseph and their TC got back and were like, we already sent them, but here they are again. And it was kind of like, well, I wish I had known that because there was stuff I'm
It's
filling
okay
out
to
that
send
I
an
didn't.
email with not a lot of
Yeah.
sugar that says, I wish I did. Jesus Christ, I'm trying to run my freaking transaction here. Why am I in the dark?
Go find another escrow, Gary, let them do it.
I have to run my deal because I know
Yeah.
I have to run my deal because I know I got to do the other agent's work every time. I got to know what's going on. Yeah, I drive that train. I'm in the bow of that. I'm wearing that funny. Just so you know. See how that happens?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right, so that's did I do a checklist? I think it wants me to do a checklist. There's a checklist in there. But no sense doing double duty all of this.
Right, that's correct.
And if I understand SkySlope, you can actually fill out zip forms inside SkySlope.
That is
Yes.
absolutely correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so it can be, you can
Zip inside of
it can
SkySlope.
be totally integrated. That makes me nervous. I'm using
Roll this out.
reseals like that now. But
Just do it all in SkySlope.
Is that something, do you have to pair the two together? Because I know it's.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'll get introduced to SkySlope class.
They do have a webinar one I watched, but it was kind of,
Again,
You can also-
You kind of need to know how they do it here.
No.
It's like, here's how SkySlope invented it. Here's how we apply it.
No, they'll walk you right through it if you call them on that 1-800 number.
That's true too.
They'll walk you step by step
I
and
think
make
the
sure
big
you're
part
doing
is
it right.
not knowing, like, I didn't know I can link my zip form SkySlope and just do all this through SkySlope. So I don't know if I call them, I don't know to ask that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like as you go,
Yes.
these things come up, you find them out, then you bring them up. But with those classes, they'll have like the questionnaire,
Yeah.
but it's like, this is what you
Realtors are
hear.
last to know.
I mean,
right here.
if I
In real estate,
I always
realtors are
want-
last to know.
I personally want to know how to do it here and do it with SkySlope because I may not always be here. I may move to another state or something.
Yeah, I wanna, that's my thing, is I wanna know how, like, if Angie, if nobody was here, I could run everything 100% fine. I know it's there. I know easy way to get through everything. That's what takes me long, is just navigating through everything.
Well, that's it. No shortcuts. Gary,
Thank you, Gary.
appreciate it.
Thanks, Gary.
You're welcome. I appreciate you. So I kind of want to get into all the listing stuff next time, because you need to hunt on sell stuff, and you know how to list stuff. And then when I finish the listing segment, then I'll break that RPA open, because it takes me a month to teach the RPA. It's a month of hours at least, because it's paragraph by paragraph. So we're going to bust open paragraph 14, so you lose all the deals, we'll take it apart, shred it. We shred all the disclosure paragraphs, go through every disclosure form, CAR, and put in it. You'll be so bored and tired and cranky crap at that.
But you'll know more than 90% of the agents around here.
I'd say 90,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
Here is the 1%.
yeah. We used to have
Well, you have to
a
do their
patch
job.
cutoffs at 1%.
Yeah.
Little patch.
To save a deal, you will have to do their job. Unfortunately.
It's job one is protect the public is what I've always done. It's like, hey, it ain't their fault. They don't know anything. They hired this jackass for 15 grand.
Exactly.
Exactly. Idiot. Exactly. So I'm glad that Joseph knew he actually needed an RCSD. I think I managed Century 21 in St. Louis. Is like missing for him. Whatever that.
Yeah.
Now that
Joseph,
now that this
yeah.
is live and everyone knows.
Yeah. And everybody's always like, is this thing still running?
We're really careful, yeah.
Everybody's always like,
I didn't
yeah,
do
go through, yeah, that ship is set.
All right.
All right, Mike Lennox.
Thanks, Gary.
I don't know how to shut it off.
If you have a problem, get another escrow. Dog dies, get another escrow.
All right.
Is that time
Yeah.
You might want to.
Yep. You need new tonsils, get a new escrow.
I'm gonna hit end meeting.
Or the
Everybody
recording
call
at
it
the
Chris
top,
and
right?
find out if end meeting is the right button for me.
Or the
Get
recording.
stop recording, yeah.
Yeah, the recording thing at the top right. You want to stop that. So, yeah, that.
Okay, hey, bye, everybody. See you the week.